Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to LRC for round number 8 of the Tier 1 season at none other than the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. And would you believe it, it is raining. My name is Coolest, and I am very pleased to be back in the commentary box for today's stream. So, we have a few things to run you through first, as the first cars make their way out onto the track now. Of course, most obvious one, no race last week. The drivers were getting the season break, shall we say, with the 1 week break that we usually place somewhere around the middle of the season. This season, it will be, or it was exactly in the middle of the season, splitting 7 races on either side. So we are back now though, and we are back in Belgium, which is a brilliant race to kick things back off, and as you can see, it is as it always so often is in Spa, it is tipping it down with rain. So off to a good start, and that means we are going to be getting underway with some very good action, as we so often come to expect in LRC. Now, I will straight away be honest and say I didn't exactly catch the last race. I did see the results though, so hopefully I was able to remember the majority of them, and we did have some interesting results last time, because this guy right here on your screen, Lamauno, did not win either of the sprint race or the feature race for the first time this season. He's not got a win at a race weekend, which is quite insane to say after, it took him, he went 6 races with achieving that, but now he's failed that. And no, somebody's gone off there. That's one of the Haas cars. I think that would have been Lrc, because I think Max kind of disconnected earlier on, and indeed it was Lrc, so there he goes. He's back on the track now though, and Spinato, unfortunately, I was just about to say, Spinato wasn't here for the start of the session, but he's here now. So, Spinato, hello. We've just got underway with qualifying, and welcome to the stream.
I'm very glad to be back. My bus was late. Well, it shows. I'm starting up the game now, so you can take us through what's going on in qualifying right now.
And you will indeed do that. So we had just seen Lrc make a mistake, but I was just giving a quick recap. Another one of the Ferraris, and now Lamauno as well going off through the chicane there of Fanya, and everybody seemingly getting a bit crossed up here in these intermediate conditions at the start of the session. It is supposed to dry out later on, but as things are at the moment, it's very damp and slippery, and that is catching some of the drivers out, especially on the cold tyres. But yeah, last week we had no wins from Lamauno, and instead we had the sprint race win going to Lrc, and the feature race win going to a new driver in the form of SHZ Alex, who on its debut was able to take a dominant win by 20 seconds in the feature race, and got his championship tally underway in some fashion. However, he is not going to be here today, as far as I know, and he does have somebody else reserving for him at AlphaTauri, who he is now a permanent driver for. I think it's AJ. Yeah, AJ by 24 is reserving for him in the AlphaTauri. You can see further down the order there, but we have Lamauno starting his first lap in qualifying here, and Spinato, do you want to take us through it?
As we see, that's Lamar, yes. Now, is that Lamar? Yes, that's Racer. I'm seeing in P4. Yeah, it's just gone through the source into the. At the end of the Camel Straight. Yeah, okay, yeah. But that is his outlap. Actually, that's showing to me that is his outlap. He's not going full pelt.
That wasn't his outlap. That he had definitely crossed the start finish line there, but he's clearly not going at full speed. He's definitely backed off. So we'll have to avert that one. But yeah, Lamauno is going to be looking to get back to winning ways, I'm sure.
I mean, I've seen some new names here that I didn't recognize from the week I last commentated in. I see Julian in second place for the Williams team, and we've seen Yarkata in the Alpine, very dominant driver on his day. Yarkata has the pace to make it count. It's like the first time on the board. That's Shadow with a 154.4 on the intermediate tires, but it is, as far as I know, it is going to dry up at the end of the session. Shadow went for a bit of a slide out of the source, got some wheel spin on, and For me, okay, now it's saying that Lamar, yes, is on an actual hot lap.
That's not good for
So,
Shadow. Whoa, huge spin at the top of Radion there. Sorry to cut you off, but Shadow just finished his first lap. He clearly must have been going for another, because coming over the top of Eau Rouge there, he just completely lost the back end and by some miracle managed to keep it out of the barriers. I've got no idea how he did that, but well, he must be very happy with himself. He's weaving around a bit here, but yeah, understandably so. And he will just about, by the skin of his teeth, stay in the session. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so now Lamar should be on his actual lap. He's got that ERS deploying, and he's just gone through Radion, as we saw it right now, just from the top of the hill. Hit that left apex quite nicely. Now he goes onto the painstakingly long Kemmel Straight. DRS is obviously off, as it is the inter conditions, but he goes tidy through Lacombe, going on the curb on the left-hand side right there. Now into this into this right-hander. It clips a bit of that exit curb. Now into Brussels, into the long hairpin. You have to be very careful on the throttle here, otherwise you can see what happened there. He got a bit of wheel spin on, obviously not ideal, and there's a car in his way for the monumental corner that is Puon here. It's a very fast apex. Obviously in dry conditions it could be even flat out. But Lamar, yes, very shaky. I think he'll have to abandon this one, yeah, as we go into I think this one's called Tift Half, if I'm not mistaken.
Piff Paff, yeah, close enough.
Easy, yeah, Piff Paff, yeah. Right left-hander, quite easy to spin there actually. I've done that a few times. And going to the last fast section of the track, obviously we're going to see the incoming Blanchimont, which is a fast left-hander. You have to be very daring to complete that corner and make it out in one piece, as we see he's approaching right now. Quick left-hander, you have to be careful not to invalidate, and he didn't invalidate on that occasion. Now into the famous bus stop chicane, and I think he's gone, yeah, I think he's going to start again. Try to work on that one a bit better, because yeah, we had some moments on this lap. Obviously I don't think the inter conditions are in his favor right now, but I think we're going to see him at the top of the timing sheet soon enough.
Yeah, there'd be almost no doubt about it, but we'll have to wait and see if he's able to jump up there. That huge slide at Puon, it was also, I think he might have invalidated there. He was right on the edge at the very least on the apex curb, or sorry, the exit curb, as Jacques, who I think is listed for you, is what did you say he was listed as, the Williams?
Julian. Okay, has gone to P1.
I had him. I have him down on the
1:53.0.
Yeah, very impressive lap from him. But yeah, I have him down on as Jacques on the time screen.
1.2 seconds quicker.
You'll have to bear with us on that if we start confusing the names. We mean the same person. It's the one that starts with a J. That's what you'll have to remember. And yeah, very impressive lap from him. And getting.
Oh, you're a cat, sir.
Well, he was a second ahead, but. No,
and here comes a Ferrari, 5/10 quicker.
Both Alpines. Well, yeah, the track is drying out. The track is very clearly drying out. It was supposed to do so towards the end of the session, and to be honest, at the rate it's going, it doesn't look like it's raining anymore. To be right on board with the Farah here, no, there is no rain, so it looks like it will probably end up getting dry by the end of the session. We might be seeing some. Well, it might be a case of the last driver to set a time gets pole. We'll have to wait and see.
Exactly. It's going to be an intense shootout at the end. Obviously, Julien's in a bit of an Alpine sandwich right now, and he's hoping to be the bread of that sandwich. Maybe P1, if he can hook up that lap, maybe on the softs. Once he goes out for the next time. As we see, some drivers still in the pits have not set times. I think they are waiting for the soft conditions. As you can see, the dry line is pretty much there right now, and it's clearing up with every car that goes past. And look at that, Lamar, yes, 1.8 seconds quicker that is, or not? 1.8 seconds.
That
Jesus.
Is seriously impressive. Well, I mean, it's definitely not going to be the pole time. You can see the track is drying out significantly, and I think I'll have to side with the drivers who did decide to stay in the pits here, because it's quite a sensible decision to just not risk wrecking or totaling the car and not being able to set a lap when the session does dry out. Although they may be in a little bit of an extra pressure circumstance.
Look at that, and the track is practically bone dry. Look at that. Look at the onboard. It's practically bone dry right now.
Classic case of Codemasters games where the track goes from intermediates to bone dry in the course of about half a lap, and that's exactly what we've seen here, because now, by the time Lamano's reached, turn 8, the track is, well, just drier than the desert by the looks of things, so I'd imagine we'll start to see any second now. Yep, there is Shadow, the first driver switching onto the soft tyres in the pits.
As well. Cooper is, I'll tell you who's on the soft actually. 5 drivers opting for the softs right now. I think the one who's gone the most into the lap, and there you go, DRS is enabled. It is 100% soft conditions, or just dry conditions. So Bablo's the first one to get out on those soft tires, so we'll see him jump up to the top of the table pretty soon. Max Con's gone out on the soft. Lugi is just bolted on the softs. Cooper on his outlap, gone through the left-right just now. And we see, Lugi actually opted for the medium, which is quite interesting.
Bablo's getting a nice
obviously
toe
it's going to
there.
be quicker than... Oh, yeah. Oh, he's invalidated his hot lap, but here's what matters. It's a hot lap.
There we go.
As he goes through all the gears, into the start-finish straight he goes, and into the hairpin that is Lacombe. So, Bablo, what can you do for us today?
Here we go then, out of the first corner. Look pretty good on the traction there. Of course, the track will still be a little bit green, as they like to say. It means a little bit slippery, so going to have to be careful here up Eau Rouge, and you can see the back end didn't look planted there, so Bablo, I don't think he stayed fully on the throttle, but that will soon change, I would imagine, by the end of the session. And yeah, I'd imagine it might just be a case of the drivers who've put in quite a bit of extra fuel will just be able to get some laps in here, and it could be a case that the tyres actually don't make too much of a difference, and it's just whoever can get the most laps done on the lowest amount of fuel towards the end of the session will be in prime position. But Bablo has not been the tidiest of laps from him so far. Of course, not exactly used to seeing him up the front end of the field, as Afari goes quickest now, still on intermediates, so bold call for him to stay out, as Bablo goes very wide there at Pouon, and I would hazard a guess that that's probably invalidated his time there, surely.
Yeah, and another person who's doing a soft lap right now is Cooper, just behind him. So I'm getting that purple sector 1 from Bablo as he goes through Pouon himself right now. Easy on the throttle, very close to track limits. Very well done by Cooper, just judging the car's traction throughout the whole corner. Now as he goes into pit faff, the right and left-hander makes sure not to go on the curb, because obviously that curb can spin you out if you take too much liberty on it. And now goes into the fastest section of the track as he gets a purple sector 2 time for now, and it's smooth sailing up until the bus stop chicane. He has to get that throttle down right, and here comes Bablo, 3 seconds faster than the Inter guys, and now Cooper's gonna finish his lap very close to the grass there, into the bus stop, into the right-hander, into the left-hander, get the throttle down nicely. Short shifts into third just to make it a bit easier, and he's gone fastest. For now, it's a 1:44.7, and that is the benchmark for the other drivers to beat. And Shadow's keen on beating that time, but actually he's invalidated his lap. And Max Con looks like a driver who could beat Cooper right now.
Yeah, and from this point onwards, the times will start to tumble very, very quickly, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Maxcon, as you quite rightly pointed out, is making his way through Stavolo now at this very high-speed section. Traction looking not to be an issue for him, so the track must be bone dry by now then, and I would imagine with that the times will be on their way down, and I think even Cooper's time there, which did seem like a pretty decent lap, might not even be enough for the top 10 come the end of the session. But here we go. First up, it is Maxcon. What can he do in the Haas? Well, no, he's back into the pits.
Oh,
so
into the pits.
That's what he can do in the Haas. He's going to go in.
He wasn't happy.
4 minutes left in the session, and I would imagine he's just going to make effectively a pit stop there and get straight back out on the track, because it is a very long lap here. So cutting it a little bit close, but I think he'll have. I think he will have time.
Yeah, Shadow's going to the pits as well. Invalidated his lap on the softs, and I guess he thought, yep, nothing I can do about that for now. And Kimi finishes his lap, and it's 6/10 quicker than Cooper. Kimi, first lap on the softs, and goes purple in basically every sector, I think.
Yeah, nice time by
Lugi
him.
on the medium is quite an interesting call.
Oh, well, I wonder if he's
And he's
doing what I.
this time as well.
I wonder if I saw him going straight across Lrc earlier on, but I wonder if he's doing what I suggested, which is just put in a load of fuel into the car and maybe just go out on a set of mediums and just try and get as many laps in as possible. We'll have to see how that works out for him. I'm not sure it's the best strategy on the medium tyres, but maybe he can prove us wrong. We'll have to wait and see. As
here comes Julian, 1.6 seconds up in the first sector is Julian, and
he's looking very.
Seems
quick
pretty
in
dominant in that Williams.
Yeah, looking very quick. I like trains will be.
The Aston.
I like trains will be next across the line. I think at least on the set of soft tyres, making its way through the end of the lap now. Final sector and into Blanchimont.
Look at that, the Aston Martin.
I don't know what Aston Martin you're seeing.
Who on there?
Yeah, you're watching somebody else.
I'm looking at Julian's on board here.
Oh, okay, well, here we go then. I like trains out the final corner. What can he do then? The British driver for Mercedes heads to the line now. Can he go quickest? Yes, he can, by 3/10 over Kimi. But we have, as you rightly pointed out, we have Jacques making his way into the final sector now on what has seemed like a very good lap here.
Yeah, on that first sector, he was 1.6 seconds up. Has he kept that time? Has he kept that time gain up into the last two corners? He's clean on the apex. He's clean on the other apex. Now, careful on the throttle. He's in fourth gear, and he's accelerating it towards the line, and it's 1:42.7. That is a second quicker than I like trains.
Very quick.
And Julian is looking like a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that is a seriously good lap there. And we have... I think that's Joe Carter, I think, just starting his lap now, or preparing to. Kvyat Bonner making his way around in the Ferrari, currently in 10th place, and of course, still a lot of drivers towards the bottom of the field with no time, and Frosty and German beat still in the pits, although I think both of those drivers are serving qualifying bans, so that is why you won't be seeing them set any times. But yeah, so everybody else now will be making a mad dash. We've got 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the session. Who can make their impact here and try and get up as many places as they can for the start of this race?
Yeah, 11 drivers on their out laps. It's just a whole field of cars going to Sector 3 right now as Maxcon starts this lap. His other one was invalidated. Lrc is trying to start his lap. Now Lrc Andretti is on his lap right now. On the softs as well, and it's looking looking pretty smooth for everyone out there. Kvyat Bonner goes 6th, yeah, in the Ferrari. Good job by him. Looking like a decent session for the Ferrari drivers, both 4th and 6th respectively. But it's just before the sea of cars comes over the start-finish line, and we're going to see some really fast times now. So keep your eyes peeled.
We have 16 cars currently on laps with 20 seconds to go in the session. There goes the first one. AJ by 24 jumps up into second place in the AlphaTauri. Not quick enough to beat Jacques, but he will get a second chance here because he did cross the line with enough time to go. We're currently riding on board with the championship leader, Lamano. He's a little bit wide through the first apex at Lrc there, but keeping it clean so far. He's kept it within track limits, which is the most important thing. He just needs to get in a decent lap here. You can see a Ferrari off the road there. It's going to leave him plenty of space to get back on, but Lamano, currently in 11th place, needs to keep it on the track and within track limits to make sure he does not invalidate and that he can get towards the front of the field where he needs to be. Joe Carter, I think, might have had an accident somewhere. He's retired from the session.
Yes, he has.
And that is not good for him at all because, well, what time did he even set? He was only 12th, so yeah, Joe Carter, well, he's in the pits actually, so no accident for him, just retired, so he's going to be starting quite far down the order. Maxcon now jumps up to 3rd place, looking good for him at the moment, but we have so many drivers still left to set their times.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. I think Lamailles is going to be spearheading the sea of drivers coming through, but it's actually one of the Hasses who's finishing their lap. It's Lrc, the first one to come through the line. It's going to be a 1:43.4 for Lrc. That's going to be P3. The Haas duo, P3 and P4 respectively. But here comes Lamailles.
Only
and
third.
Lamailles goes 3rd quickest.
Not
only
pole
3rd. His teammate is coming across the line right now. Teammate only good enough for P8, that's Racer. Now it's Shadow across the line, that's P5 for him. Now I think one of the Alpines is going to come through the line. Going across the line, that is a Fari, goes P4. Now in Alfa Romeo, I think that's Pablo, or Blondie actually. Blondie doesn't improve. Now one of his his teammate. I think that's Pablo coming through the last corners now. And Cooper as well. Now, one of the Alfa Romeos peers into the pits, and the Ferrari finishing
Cooper.
his lap. That's Cooper. Goes up into P9.
Well, I think that is it. Do we have anybody else? We have Luigi. Is Luigi on a lap? I can't. Doesn't look like he's on a lap.
Is.
I can't see him
no, he's actually on a lap. Wait a second, he is.
He?
No, but it's a very slow lap, I think.
And not a good lap at all. 38 seconds off the pace, and that is going to conclude qualifying. So Lamano not even on the front row, and it will be Jacques in the Williams starting on pole position here in Spa. AJ by 24 gets second place as a reserve for AlphaTauri. Great job by him, and Lamano third, Afari fourth, and then the two Hasses split by Shadow, 5th, 6th and 7th.
Yeah, very well done by the Haas duo. Very consistent, and they prove their consistency week in, week out. As we see, Lrc set a time good enough for P5. It's 6/10 from the leader, Julian. I think he's a new face in LRC. Has gone fastest in Belgium.
Well, LRC, it is time for the Belgian Grand Prix, round 8 of Season 4 in Tier 1. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's go in Belgium, here in LRC. Who's going to get a good start? Well, there was a slow one for P2 off the line there. There was AJ getting a terrible start into turn 1. Can everybody keep it clean through this very tight hairpin? It's going to be a tricky task to do, so it looks clean for so far. But no, a Red Bull goes round there. I'm not sure who that was, but one of the Red Bulls gone round as the cars make their way towards Eau Rouge. Jarmin round. That's not good for him. He's running 5th in the championship as everybody looks to get through cleanly up.
Side by side in the Kemmel Straight, the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri, here they come into La Com. Is going to be a matter who breaks the latest. Somebody almost makes it 3 wide. That is Maxcon behind them. The AlphaTauri on the inside goes off the track. Feels disadvantaged by the Mercedes, and there's contact. The Mercedes gets pushed into the apex, but the two Mercedes are Maxcon is sandwiched between the two Mercedes. We're going to work together to pass Maxcon. Obviously, Lars got a very good start. It was side by side with Le Mailles into Eau Rouge. Obviously, Le Mailles got the better straight line speed coming into Eau Rouge. Lars looks all out of shape and Pouan there, but he's right on Le Mailles' rear as Le Mailles tries to make ground up on the leader, which is Julian, who got a great start off of the line, and that's just what he needed to start off his race.
Yeah, great start from him and a terrible start for AJ by 24, dropping from 2nd down to 5th off the line there. Just no traction on those cold hard tyres. As you can see, a bit of a battle going on here towards the bottom of the points. This is between Racer and Cooper for 11th and 12th on the track, getting awfully close to each other there, but it is Racer who's going to hold the position for the time being. As you can see, Cooper right on the back of him as they head through Blanchimont, but Cooper gets some understeer there, probably from that dirty air. That's what can happen when you're running that close to the car ahead. As through the bus stop, that's too close there. Contact for a Mercedes, and getting spun out by the Haas driver is Shadow, as it so often is. Shadow cannot catch a break in this series. That's so unfortunate. He did nothing wrong there, and just the tiniest bit of a clip from I think that was from Maxcon on the exit of the bus stop, and Shadow is down to 19th place, but he doesn't have damage, so he is going to get the chance to carry on in this race, but that's a huge shame for him.
And here comes the other Mercedes into the Kemmel Straight. He's got the toe on Maxcon, and Maxcon's going to have to go defensive here in order to prevent a move, but looks like I Like Trains doesn't have the straight line speed, as Maxcon blocks off the inside. I Like Trains is pretty much helpless, but he's got it, he doesn't have it all figured out. He's kind of slidey on the apex there. Is he going to go for a daring move down the hairpin? No, he isn't. Thinks better of it. Better slot in behind and go for the move the next lap. I think there's contact at the back of the field. I think that's Lugi and Jarman both fighting for last place. Terrible for the both of them. I think they both had some incidents that influenced their races greatly, and they're going to be wishing for a safety car now. But it's the battle for P6 is heating up as I Like Trains wants to get revenge. For his fallen teammate Shadow. And I think he's going to be making that move soon enough, while the top 3 is coming ever closer. Also, Le Mailles was pretty close at the start of the second lap to Julian, but Julian's managed that gap very well.
Yeah, he's doing well in the lead at the moment.
Yeah,
He's got about a
Bon
second
as
lead.
well.
I think there's been a
Racer
crash further
spun
down
out.
the field.
Racer spun out.
And Racer on the exit of Stavolo in the McLaren has gone round there, and he is going to drop all the way to the back of the order now as the Williams there. Vellucci gets very close up to the wall on the exit. It's a very tricky corner.
Look at Kwiatkowski side by side.
And there
Side
he
by
is,
side
with the Aston
with
Martin.
Kimi right there. He's got the move done, and here comes Cooper.
And yeah, Cooper's going to try and make it 2 moves for Ferrari in one go here. Trying to go up the inside as Lamano is actually disconnected from the session. That is not good for him.
That
so we'll have to hope
that
it's going to be brilliant for Lrc. So we'll have to hope that Lamano's AI is able to put up a good fight here. But I think Lrc might look to try and capitalise. And here he comes now. DRS is available. And you can see DRS fighting on in the background as well. But Lrc, this is going to be an easy pass for him. No challenge coming in. And AJ by 24 is able to get past Afari as well to get up into 4th place. So 2 moves there immediately with the DRS and another one.
Side by
side again. It's Kimi trying to come back at Kvyat running off the track through the calm, and that's going to invite Cooper up the inside now. And Cooper is going to get the move done. And yeah, very opportunistic by him. And he gets both Ferraris up into the top 10 now and into the top 9.
Blondie with a very daring move, trying to go down the inside of 2 cars in the hairpin. I think there's a spin, there's a crash between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. That's Frosty and Shadow coming together. They've both spun out on the apex, and that's that looks like looks like the Mercedes' race over.
There was a spin for the Yokata. Oh, that is a huge shame for him on the inside of Pooh, and so many drivers struggling here in what is a very difficult track to get the hang of, and on the hard tyres.
On Lrc
only becomes more difficult. And yeah, here we go, side by side now. Lrc cannot fight this because he isn't even here, so his AI is going to get past and lose another place now, and this is going to make this race seriously interesting for him. And Afari disconnected as well. I didn't even see that one, so that's why he lost the place to AJ, and he is going to be vulnerable now to MaxCon and I Like Trains behind him.
Yeah, and MaxCon, look at that. MaxCon's right on Afari's heel as we go into Lacombe. He goes down for the move. He goes down the inside, and Afari, he gets past Afari, but that invited I Like Trains into the party, and now MaxCon is at danger here, because look at that. They're both going to get the DRS, and the Camel Straight's coming up, which is very, very strong for the cars behind. He's going to get that slipstream, and I Like Trains is going to be the winner here. Because MaxCon went for that move, he's going to be susceptible for an overtake, and I think an Aston Martin of Kimi spun out on in Radion actually, and
side by side.
Yeah, that seems
getting forced off the road. Forced off the road was the Mercedes. No, it's the Mercedes of I Like Trains getting the move done on MaxCon, but having to give it back because he did overtake off the track. MaxCon gave him a bit of a squeeze, but I think I Like Trains was maybe a little bit early to bail out there, and so he's going to have to try and recompose himself and attempt the move again. It does look like, though, he seems to have the better pace than the Haas driver, so I think this one, this pass might be inevitable for him. As the two Ferraris we're getting very close
what
for a
I
second,
saw from what I saw from the two Ferraris was them going side by side into Lacombe, and I think it was Cooper getting pushed off for making that move. So yeah, bitter relations at Ferrari. Nobody wants to give up an inch, but they both have Afari in their sights, and I think they're gonna have to work together to get past him, because Afari is a driver of his caliber. It's not easy to beat. So here comes Cooper. He's going to want to close that gap down, so he gets DRS on the Camel Straight. That would be perfect for him, as now Lrc is back in the race, and he's going to be chasing down Mr. Andretti in P3 here.
Yeah, and there was a bit of a fight going on further down the order as well, which is between Blundy, German Beat, and Bablo. I think it was fighting it out for Hotspeed, Blundy, and German Beat fighting it out for the last position in the top 10. But yeah, here we go. The first fight to come up on our schedule here is going to be one between Lamano and AJ. Through Radion they go now, and over the top of the hill. Was a little bit off the track there, I think, from AJ, but it's going to be probably a hopeless attempt for him to try and defend this, because we know what Lamano's setups are like. He likes to go as low downforce as he can possibly drive with, and he's going to go for it round the outside here. Well, there's a little bit of contact there between the two of them. That was, well, it was impossible to tell whose fault it was from the angle I was looking at, but the Alpha Tauri is going to stay ahead now, and Lamano is going to have to, well, settle in behind and try and go for it again. I wonder if he feels might have been a little bit disserviced there.
Yeah, I think the AlphaTauri got loads of understeer on, and Lrc was basically at his rear wheels, so he couldn't do much but to concede and to go off the track. But as we see, I Like Trains is also battling for position, and also the battle between German beat Blondie on speed. Blondie went for a move, and because he was at the leader of that pack, that allowed German beat to get DRS and get past. That's German beat up into P10, scoring 1 point for now, but I think he can make some inroads for... Oh, it's beginning to rain. It's beginning to rain, I think.
Wow.
I've just seen a few drops.
That is very early.
It's coming a bit early.
Yeah, that is way earlier than any of the drivers would have expected.
I just saw a few drops.
I'm not seeing any on the chassis of I Like Trains at the moment.
I just began to see a few drops.
Well, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It might be in different parts of the track.
Not on the chassis, but like... Yeah, I was also expecting I Like Trains.
Yeah, usually I would say that I only would say that it's actually raining when it's actually on the chassis, so we'll have to wait and see if it does start to pick up at all, but for now at least the drivers will be hoping that the rain doesn't come that soon, because all of them are on hard tyres, and well, it would be an advantage for the few guys that are on mediums, but none of them are even in the top 10, so it doesn't look like it'll change too much as the Mercedes gets a little bit squirmy through a Rouge there, but it's not going to matter, because with the DRS, here he comes on the inside now. Maxcon trying to put the block on, they bang tyres down the street, making contact, the two of them, not wanting to give this up easily as Maxcon, and he's going to hold it around the outside, but here comes the switchback now. The Ferraris are fighting in the background as well, but the move is going to go to Maxcon, but into Bruxelles, round the outside is going to dive the Mercedes of I Like Trains. Can he make this one stick? He's going to get awfully close to it, tantalisingly close even, but he won't be close enough to get the move done.
Yeah, just outside his reach for now, but I Like Trains going to be at him anytime, and look at that. All That Racing has invited Afari into the party, a person who they've both overtaken. Afari is looking like he's in a racing mood right now, but yeah, on the track, it is looking quite a bit darker than it did at the race start. A bit of fog has started to come in, so I think we're going to see the rain in a few laps' time, but not yet, not for now at least. I think I was mistaken with a few drops. Just very excited to see the rain come in. As that, I think that could be a major game changer in the race. Who can get those? Who can get that perfect tire change so that they don't lose a huge amount of time on the slicks, and they gain the most amount of time possible by changing the tires at the right time for the inters. And we can see Afari, look at that.
There he goes.
Almost dives it down the inside. He does dive it down the inside.
It was less of a dive from Afari and more of just I Like Trains running very wide there through Lecom. I don't know if he was late on the brakes or what, but he's lost some time now from Maxcon. He will still get the DRS, but he's going to become very vulnerable to Afari behind, so it might be in for a three-way battle here, but we'll have to see. Here comes Afari in the Alpine. He's going to go round the outside. There he goes, and yeah, not even able to fight it. I Like Trains doesn't look like he's got the best straight line speed, and into Lecom, well before they even got to Lecom, Afari is ahead and now looking to challenge Maxcon already for the next position. Meanwhile, Lamau now getting ever closer to the back of AJ, fighting 4P3 here, which was somewhat unfairly taken from him by his own game there. It's unfortunate. I think both of us know quite a lot about that happening, so we can sympathise there. But yeah, he's looking to make the challenge here, and I have to say AJ's pace does seem to be pretty good. I mean, that is to be expected from the man who qualified second place, and yeah, he's done a good job so far to hold behind our championship leader. But for how much longer will he be able to do that? Well, only time will tell.
Well, good. We haven't even mentioned Julian in this race. He's kept such a clean record. He's driven the cleanest laps that he could, and Julian is looking unbeatable right now. It's 2 seconds between him and Lrc, and he's ever increasing that gap each lap. And you look at Lamar, yes, look at how close he is to Andretti here. And he's going to get that DRS open down the start-finish straight, and also, very importantly, down the Camel straight, where Lamailles is known for his straight line speed setup. So I think we're going to see an overtake happen in that section of the track.
Well, here we go. We're going to have, we might have a few battles coming on here because we also have that three-way fight still burning on between Max Conifari and I Like Trains. But first up, it will be, like you say, Lamau right on the back of the AlphaTauri of AJ once again. Can he do it this time? He's a lot closer, and there is that overwhelming straight line speed. He was so much closer this time, and AJ is not even going to be able to fight it. It was he locks up a little bit into the chicane there, and that will not aid his efforts of defence at all, and he's going to have to settle and stay behind. But here comes the fight now. Too close into the con and getting spun round. Maxcon gets spun round after contact with, I think he was with a Ferrari on the outside, getting very close to being hit by the two Ferraris who were just almost blindsided as they went around the corner. But now Maxcon going to be on hot tyres and drops down to 9th place. Looks like his front wing is still intact, so that's good for him. But that fight, it was getting very feisty, and a Ferrari was, well, he was not looking to give too much space there, but in all fairness, it did look to me a little bit like Maxcon was getting a bit of understeer. So I'll leave it up to the stewards to decide what the outcome of that one is. But either way, it is not going to be a good one for Maxcon because he is down to 9th place now in this race, and he has got quite a bit of work to do if he wants to recover that. But meanwhile, towards the front of the field, Lamau now, after finally being freed from AJ, is immediately looking to hunt down his next target, which is the Haas of Lrc in P2.
Yeah, he's crucially he's gonna have DRS and Lrc. He's not coping with those hard charts well. I think Lrc. It helped when AJ was behind because I think Lrc could match AJ's pace, but now Lamau, yes, goes fastest, sets the fastest lap of the race right now, and he's gonna have that DRS into the Camel Straight. Lrc has a bit of energy to play around with. So maybe he can keep that position for now, but I think Lrc is not going to fight that one. Not going to fight this one that much. It seems like Lamau, yes, is quicker in a straight line, and I think there's no reason to fight him unless okay, Lrc makes him go down the inside, but Lamau, yes, makes it relatively easy for himself, and Lrc, yeah, Lrc is forced to stay behind, can't do the switchback of any sorts.
Yeah, nice move. Very clean stuff there from Lamau. That's what we come to expect from it. And he is up into P2 now. And I think the best thing that Lrc can do is try and use the DRS to stay ahead of the AlphaTauri behind. Meanwhile, Maxcon trying to go into a fight with that's Kvyat Bonnet in the Ferrari there. They were banging tyres through the com, and one of them going off the track was Kvyat Bonnet. And Maxcon getting very squirmy still, not having the best time in that Haas car at the moment. So maybe that spin might have just killed his tyres off a little bit, but we'll have to see. It's only lap 9 in the race, so should still be plenty of life left in those hards just yet. And yeah, he's going to have to try again here because that has cost him quite a bit of time, that contact with Kvyat Bonnet in the Ferrari. But
AJ spun. He's beached on the curb.
He's had a huge accident there on the exit of that. That's going into Campus Corner there, and that is going to be a safety car.
That's a safety car. That is a safety car.
Yeah, it has to reset to track, does AJ. That is so unfortunate for him. I'm sure the stewards will give him the lenience he deserves on that one.
This is very interesting right now, because are they going to pit on to the inters? Because they know the rain is coming. Not. Are they going to pit on the inters? And a lot of people are. People are coming in, but
what tyres will it be for? We're going to have to wait and see. There's no rain just yet.
I see inters.
Well, I'm seeing a mix of tyres.
That's slicks.
Yeah, those are dry.
Slicks for Lamau, yes.
They can't pit onto inters, so everyone is pitting onto the dry tyres. If they pit onto inters, they would just kill the intermediate tyres, and they'd be rubbish by the time it did start raining. So yeah, no, they will have to stay on the dries for now. Everybody holds the order on the pit exit as Lrc gets a big slide on there, on the ice-cold tyres, as everybody makes their way out now, and careful not to get brake checked there by the safety car guys. Who's getting a little bit close there, as you can see a Ferrari makes his way out of the pit lane here. It's a very tight pit exit, but hopefully everyone able to negotiate it safely. So yeah, everyone pitting onto
Shadow has gone for the inters. Shadow is believing. So has Hotspeed.
Hotspeed has also gone to the inter. This is incredibly bold.
I am all for them. I think the rain is gonna come soon, and because the rain is gonna come, look at them. They're gonna sit behind the safety car. Everyone else is gonna pit while they're gonna be on the actual tires that they need to be on. I think it's a pretty genius move right now, but let's see if it works out for them.
Yeah, this is gonna. Well, they are basically doing every single kind of rain dance, rain chant that they can think of in the cockpits now, because they need this rain to start coming and fast whilst the safety car is still out. Because if that safety car goes in and the track is still dry, their races are done for. Because yeah, it'll take a few laps anyway once the rain does start to fall. So they've got to hope that the rain is going to come a little bit early, because it was only predicted to come towards the end of the race, and we're only halfway through here. If that even, we're only on lap 10, so it is a very, very big gamble for these guys. And well, I can understand it for Shadow. His race wasn't exactly doing too well in the first place, but Hot Speed might have just thrown away a chance at points there.
Yeah, but I think obviously we're gonna spend like about 2 or 3 laps on the safety car, and it's about 8 or maybe 8 or 9 laps till the end of the race. I see no reason why the rain shouldn't come. Obviously, it's a bit of a gamble. I'll definitely say that. But I mean, they have to believe, and I mean, if they don't believe in themselves, I mean, who else will? As obviously, we have the cars that are very far away. That's Racer Lamaya's teammate in 20th. I think we're gonna have at least one more lap of the safety car here, as Racer makes his way around the whole track. It's about 30 seconds between him and the rest of the pack. And is anyone in the top 10 going to veer off into the pits for the Inters? No, not yet. Oh, Jarman actually. Jarman's missing for the Inters. I think. Oh no, he's just going.
I was just about to say
Jarman pits, but he's on the old hards.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was literally going to say Jarman. I think has played this. Yeah, he's pitting for soft tyres. I was going to say, I think everyone who stayed out on the hards has played this perfectly and just made up a load of track position, but as soon as I was about to say it, Jarman pulls in for a set of soft tyres, so I really feel like it would have been the better call to stay out here, and I'm not sure why so many drivers have gone into the pits, but hey, they must know better than I do. They must know something that I don't here, because, yeah, almost every single driver pitted for some kind of tyre. The only driver who stayed out was Blundy in 9th place, who was oh no, he didn't stay out. No, he started on the mediums. He switched to hards. Every single driver pitted, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure I agree with that decision, but maybe that's why I'm not racing. So we'll have to see. These guys, I hope for their sakes that they can prove me wrong, but what it does mean at least is that well, it's going to be an equal, well, I guess you could say an equal playing field, but with a definite mix of strategies. And I think the intermediate runners are going to be looking at the sky and, well, might be regretting the decision a little bit here, because if the safety car comes in this lap, they are going to be in big trouble.
It looks grayer and grayer by the second. I think Shadow, fingers crossed, is he's waiting till that first drop of rain drops on his car, and then he can finally be at peace with himself for making that position. But it's not come yet, and it it probably is a bit too early.
Yeah, the issue for me is that even once the rain does start to fall, it'll still take another, like, 3 laps usually at least before it even becomes intermediate conditions, so these guys are going to lose so much time. Even if the rain started right now, they would still might lose more than an entire pit stop.
Safeguard in this lap.
Here we go then.
Yeah, they've messed it up.
I don't think this is going to work at all for these intermediate runners, but I wish them the very best of luck, and may the heavens open and make this an interesting, well, an even more interesting race than it's already going to be. But tell you what, why don't you take us through this restart?
Yeah, I have a bit of a delay, so bear with me. It's going to be Julian who's going to be stamping on the throttle for the rest of the drivers. I'm going to turn on the telemetry so I can inform you when that happens. He's bunching up the rest of the pack. Maybe he's also wanting the rain to come. Maybe he's looking... he's doing his own rain chant, so maybe he can prove to the other drivers how good he is in the rain.
And there he goes.
For now, he's concerned with the restart, and he's punched that throttle down, and through the bus stop he goes. It's clean, and Lamar, yes, follows him through. It's Julian that leads them over the line for the restart, and Lrc has lost a huge amount of time to Lamar, yes, and now Afari is looking very aggressive. Down the inside goes Afari, overtakes Lrc, and here comes the Mercedes side by side. It's I Like Trains side by side with Lrc. Lrc gives up that position. I think he was wise not to fight it. Obviously, he's going into Eau Rouge. I think Lrc is actually in AI mode, which is why he can't fight those.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, he's left the session. Precisely that. And Lamayas has lost a bit of time to Julian, and Afari, crucially 1.5 seconds away from Lamayas, can't make up any ground, but there's battles all over the pack at the bottom. At the bottom of the table, as you see, a battle for P9, I think, brewing, a battle for P6 brewing as well.
Yeah, Maxcom was trying to go for the move there once again on Cooper this time, so a little bit higher up the order this time, but he's not been able to make it work once again. Those Ferraris being the bane in his side pod in this race, and he's going to have to try again to get past Cooper, and Cooper is going to be very eager to hold on to this position, because this is one of the highest positions he's been in all season, up in the top 6 for, I think, the first time, so he will be, like I say, eager to hold on to this one and probably be putting up quite the defence. Meanwhile, how are our intermediate tyre runners doing? Well, I'll tell you what, Hot Speed hasn't actually lost too much time. He's
not really that.
Yeah, there is. Well,
oh, the rain is coming through. The rain is coming through.
And there it is. Well,
look at the halo.
Here we go then. There is indeed rain. This might get interesting here as, oh, one of the Alphas running wide there on the exit of campus and losing a few places there, but it's not an intermediate runner. These are the dry tyre runners, so is the grip going to disappear quickly here in Spa as we have side-by-side Charmin going with Bablo, gets the move done up the inside towards Blanchimont, more action going on up the road as, yeah, fastest laps of the race coming in, dive bomb up the inside from Luigi into the bus stop and, well, gets it done cleanly, really nice move by him, struggling for traction on the exit is the intermediate runner of Shadow there. This is not ideal for him. He needs this rain to come down quicker here. Oh no, Spinato is the next victim of the disconnects in this session, so hopefully there's not too many more of those. But look at this fighting going on here. Meanwhile, Maxcon, I've got an eye on him. He's trying to make the move once again up the road. Here he comes now. Through down the Kemmel Street, he's going to be side by side with the Ferrari, and he's going to be ahead this time, but fighting it back is Cooper into the com. He's going to have the outside line, and surely Maxcon gets this done. Yes, he will. But what about the fight behind? Who's going to be ahead? Who's behind? Who is holding on to their places? Looks like not too much changed here, but Shadow might just start, well, Shadow and Hot Speed might start to come into their own here in just a second once this rain does pick up. And we said earlier on in this race, we said how, in qualifying, how quickly the track can change conditions is now fighting it out side by side to be the lead intermediate tyre runner. You can understand why they'd be doing that. Side by side is Shadow and Hot Speed, as looking for a move up the road with the Red Bull of Frosty trying to make up places there as everybody makes their way through Piron, getting so close together here, and all the cars split by almost, well, tiny margins, and round the outside trying to make the move. The Inters still aren't quite working yet, but with every corner that goes by they are getting better. Spinato is I think back with us now, but he's there we go. Yeah, making his way back in, so we'll give him just a second to get back in as the fight continues side by side. But the fight for the lead is brewing now as into the pits goes Jacques. He's going to be ditching those dry tyres for a set of Inters, and a lot of drivers are going to do that as well. So Lamauno stays out, Jacques in, Afari in, I Like Trains in, Lrc in, Maxcon stays out, obviously had to because his teammates coming in, but we have many drivers peeling into the pit lane here, and this, well, who knows? Is this going to be the right decision, or will it be the better call to stay out for another lap? It's not going to be the right decision for Kvyat Bonnet, because he's going to get held in the pits by his teammate there, and he might lose a whole host of places now, but it was a very good stop to make up for it.
And look at that, Shadow is already up to P7, is looking very good for Shadow. DRS has been disabled, the track is getting wetter, and now Shadow's making up places on the top 6, who he is within the reach of. That sentence took a long time, but yeah, he's within reach of the podium places and potentially the lead, as he's now making up ground on everybody right now. The track is very wet, it is the injury conditions right now. Shadow is looking like a very big contender for the race lead here, as now the rest of the cars ahead of him,
Jacques gets past Hot Speed,
the rest of the cars ahead of him are now losing time.
Yeah, everyone on those dry tyres is going to get screwed over here, so this is going to work out beautifully for Shadow. I shouldn't have doubted you. Frosty's retired from the session, so there's been an accident. Safety car.
And it's a safety car.
Safety car has been deployed.
That is just what Shadow didn't need.
And there is why. The Red Bull stricken on the exit of Malmedy there. It's Frosty out of the race. The Red Bull reserve driver has crashed out, and that brings out the safety car, which will save Lamauno's race here, and everybody else who stayed out. But is it going to be enough to let them hold the lead? This is going to be well, seriously close here. Into the pits comes Lamau, and we are going to have to keep our eyes on Shadow. Spinaro unfortunately disconnects again, so hopefully he's able to make his way back in sooner rather than later. But where is that Mercedes? Coming towards the final couple of corners now. This is going to be seriously close. He's going through the bus stop, but no, he's going back into the pits. Shadow back into the pit lane. What on earth? Why has Shadow gone back to the pits? It didn't look like he had damage. Let's see, is he going to change his wing? No, he's serving a penalty. I wonder if... oh, that must be why. He must have come in to serve the penalty, but that means Lamau will hold the race lead then. And Jacques will... oh no, Jacques not going to get second, because Hotspeed... sorry, Maxcon's going to get second, and Jacques will have to settle into third place then in the Williams. So this has... well, the whole race has just been... tipped, well, not quite on its head, but definitely on its side here, because these pit stops and the safety car coming out has absolutely saved the race there for Lamau. But, oh, that's so unfortunate for Shadow. With that 5-second penalty, that is why he had to come back into the pits, I'd imagine. And with that, drops down to P17, and his hopes of the perfect strategy in this race gonna peter out along with it. That's so sad for him. As, well, the other driver who stayed out, AJ, is on full wet tyres. Now that is also very bold. So both the drivers who did pit onto Inters in the first safety car have now pit again onto another set of tyres onto the second one. And so therefore they will not gain any advantage. That's very strange.
Yeah, Julian's lost a lot of ground. I think he got held up by the... obviously the safety car played a role.
It was just from the safety car, I think.
Yeah, and he got held up massively by the soft runners. I think it was Jarman he was behind. He was behind him. Jarman's on the softs on a wet track, and Julian couldn't do anything to get past. It was like he's trying to get through a brick wall there. And Jarman made that Red Bull as wide as possible to deny him, and now he's in P3. But being the fastest driver in the tricky wet conditions in qualifying is going to be a huge positive for Julian, who's going to be trying to get into that P1 spot as soon as possible.
Yeah, he needs the dispatch of the Haas of Maxcon, well, pronto, as soon as that restart happens. He needs to be getting up the inside, round the outside, whatever he can do to get past the Haas, because he knows that he absolutely has the pace to fight for the race win here. Qualifying showed that, and he is going to try and take the challenge to Lamau. We're going to have, I'd say, about 8 laps left in the race, maybe 7 or 8 laps left once the safety car does come in, so plenty of time for the battles to continue, and Spinaro disconnects again, so that's, yeah, not great. He might have to switch to watching the stream instead. Doesn't look like the game wants to have him in here, so we'll see what we can do about that one. Fortunately this time under safety car conditions, so not missing too much. And to tell you what, I will take this opportunity to show you the drivers' standings, shall we? So we can get them up on screen now, and you can have a quick look at those. You can see Lamau leading the way by some margin over Okram, who has now officially retired from the league as of, well, during the spring break he announced that, and he is no longer going to be driving. And I have to say his championship fight did unfortunately look to be pretty much dead and buried at this point anyway. He needed some miracles for, well, miracles for himself and everything to go wrong for Lamau, so that is, well, effectively gifting the title to Lamau now. But we will have, with that in mind, a very interesting fight for second place once everything does resume, so yeah, it's very close, especially further down the order as well. You can see how close some of the guys are there from... what is that, about 11th to 11th to 3rd, all split by less than 20 points, so we have plenty of fighting going on in the upper midfield, and that is why you'll see so many of the drivers being awfully aggressive here. And yeah, can take a look at the constructor standings now instead, and you can see McLaren, of course, leading the way from the helpful contributions of Lamau, who has put them in this position. And Haas now, after a very successful race in Hungary last time out, they got a load of points. Both Lrc and Maxcon, Lrc especially, had a great weekend there, and they are with that up into second place ahead of Williams now. And then Mercedes, Aston Martin, Red Bull, all very close in behind, very close together, and even Alpine getting in there as well, and AlphaTauri. So yeah, very interesting championship fights going on here. May not be for the titles, but for everything else at least. So I guess you can call it realistic. And
Yeah,
it's gonna
I'm
be
back
that.
in the
There you
session
go.
once again. Yeah, and we're
In
still in
this
the
lap.
safety car, but look at that, it's in this
Right on
lap.
cue.
You can take us through this one. Obviously, I have a delay, so whatever I will say, it won't be time accurate. So you can take us through the tricky restart. Obviously, rains very, very often in Belgium, and this is in any other case, this is what we're used to seeing. And yeah, let's see when Lrc puts that throttle down, and when the other 19 drivers have to follow him through.
Well, here he goes now, towards the bus stop chicane. Let's see, is he going to go later or earlier? I'd imagine he's going to go sometime after the bus stop chicane. He usually likes to leave it quite late, Lamono, just to make sure he's not vulnerable into the first corner. But here we go. When will he go? Here he goes now. To the line, and we are going back green again in Belgium, and it looked like a really decent restart for him there. As they head towards the first corner, he's going to hold the lead, but a fight going on behind for P3 here, as sorry, no, is that P3? No, that's not P3, that's P4, because the Ferrari is getting up the inside, and so is I Like Trains getting past Hotspeed there. So Hotspeed not being able to get heat into his tyres, and drops 2 places immediately off the restart, and now we are going to have this fight for the lead, fight for P2 first though. Here comes Julian. He's neck and neck with Max Con as they head down the Kennel Straight here and towards the Lecombe section here into the chicane. And Julian, with the inside line, is going to get the move done and get up into P2. That's perfect for him. Like we say, he needs to get this done as soon as possible, and he's got it done now. And he can focus on challenging this man here, Lamauno, for the lead of this race.
Yeah, he's found himself in the lead once again, Lrc, and it's going to be a tough task for Julian to overtake. Obviously, the dirt here is not going to help him at all, but we've seen his pace in the wet in qualifying, and he's going to hope he can replicate that once again, as obviously battles down the field as well. I think there's a battle brewing up for P6 here. German Beat has 4 cars following him, more than 4 cars. All eager to make up track position. As we see Shadow overtook Jarman. Shadow, actually, quite weird. I didn't see what happened with Shadow, but he dropped down to P13.
Yeah, he went back into the pits.
Here comes... Julian will have to make up ground on Lrc, and he's not doing that right now. He's actually losing a lot of time, especially in Sector 3, where straight line speed isn't his friend at all. He's gone through Blanchimont cleanly, though, and that's all that matters, keeping the car in one piece. Maybe he can make up some ground on Lrc in the slower sections of the track.
Yeah, and this safety car has been terrible for Ferrari because they were both running in the points doing really well, but they're both well outside now as Kvyat are going to try and do his best to rectify that with a nice move around the outside of Jarman to get into P14. So plenty of fights going on towards the back of the field. Here's another one between, I think that's Blundy and Shadow. Indeed it is, into the first corner, and Shadow is going to try and get the move done on the inside, and they're still going to be neck and neck as they exit the corner. Is Shadow going to get it done? Yes, he is. Gets the better traction, and is going to make his way up another place into P12, and now going to try and chase down Kimi. Meanwhile, up at the front, Jacques not being able to close in too much to Lrc, but Lrc is not getting away, and as I say that, into Lecombe loses quite a bit of time there, so there is definitely a fight for the win here brewing with only 5 laps left to go in the race. There's big slide there on the exit for Afari, getting a huge twitch on the exit of turn 7 there, but luckily for him, he's able to hold it and keep himself in this fight for what is P3 in the race. And I have to say, Hotspeed, Hotspeed's just been overtaken again now by Luigi. This restart has been awful for him. I wonder, I can't remember which of the AlphaTauris it was that stayed out. It must have been him that pit onto Inters the first time, because he has been, well, he's dropped 6 places on the restart so far.
Yeah, and another battle I'm looking to is looking at Afari and Maxcon. Afari, even with that twitch earlier on, he's made up ground, a lot of ground on Afari, and he's got the slipstream into Sector 3, and look at that, Maxcon is very slow out of the corner, can't put that power down just as well as Afari can, and Afari is going to be trying to go around the outside, a bit of a daring move, but he thinks better of it. Maybe can do it in a fast straight, but there you go, that's contact between the Haas. Afari stays behind, down the around the outside he tries to go, and he's going to do the switchback on Maxcon, round the outside. Maxcon pushes him a bit wide, but Afari's... Yeah, very... Oh,
and a crash, big crash at the back of the field. Frosty and AJ have both had an accident.
It's Andretti.
Yeah, Frosty and AJ both crashed out. Didn't see what that was. They were both already at the back of the field, and something happened between the two. Oh, sorry, no, it was just Frosty was already out. My apologies, but
It was just Andretti.
yeah, just an accident for Andretti, or AJ as we have him on our display here. But that has brought out now a full safety car, so it's going to be,
with 3 laps to go.
as it somehow always is, it's going to be yet another like 2-lap dash to the finish here in Tier 1 of LRC. It seems to happen every race at this point, but yeah, I'm not going to complain about it, because that means we are going to have, I would imagine, 2 laps, maybe 1 lap, but usually the game will give you at least 2 laps, so 2 laps for Jacques and Lemono to fight it out for the race win here, and then for everyone else behind them to fight it out for whatever positions they can pick up, because the field is, through this wet conditions, it's basically brought everyone so much closer together. The pace deficits are nowhere near as large, and that means that everyone is basically racing everyone for any position they can find, with, of course, the added threat of, well, an accident at basically any moment, with the lack of traction and lack of grip in these very damp and soggy conditions.
Yeah, so we're basically gonna get 2 laps of racing. So we're on lap 19 now. They cross the line. It's lap 20. Lap 20 under safety car. The safety car comes in. The actual racing begins on lap 21, and it's going to be a 2-lap dash up until the end, which is going to be absolutely crazy. And Julian has to make it count, and he has to predict when Lamaillas will go, because that restart, getting that restart down is crucial, because obviously, to start fighting, you have to be in the slipstream, and I think that's what Julian is going to have in his mind, is to be concentrated and to react within a millisecond of when Lamaillas starts going on the restart. But Julian has kept it pretty clean, has been driving very cleanly in this race. Lamaillas quite fast, gains a lot of time, very narrow to the track limits, but Julian is just a driver that likes to be a bit more smooth, and as I say that, a lot of wheel spin for him.
Yeah, it's Blender going into the pits there in the Alfa Romeo, so I wonder what tyre he's going to go on to. I wonder if is he just serving a penalty. He does have, well, it shows up as 6 seconds of penalty, so he shouldn't have a penalty to serve, and into the pits he goes. No, it is just going to be a fresh set of intermediates, so I suppose he just wants some fresh tyres to go for it on the end, and I mean, to be fair, can't really blame him. He's not lost many places at all. He was 12th when he went into the pits, and he's only 14th when he leaves, so he will have a fresh set of intermediates to try and make a challenge in the final couple of laps to see if he can get himself back into the points in this race. But yeah, it's not been a great day for, well, the Ferrari-powered cars, really, apart from Haas, who are doing quite well for themselves, with Max gone up in 3rd and Lrc still lurking in 7th place. I have to say, Lrc has had quite a quiet race this time, which is unusual for him. He's usually front and centre in the action, but this time it's been more reserved, and seems to have worked out quite well for him so far. He's driving in 7th at the moment, and he will get, obviously, the same chance that everyone else will to see if he can make up any more places, but obviously, I'm sure still fresh in his mind will be the many late incidents and DNFs that he's had this season, so I don't think he'll be wanting to risk it too much, and will probably just be happy to settle for whatever the best points position he can find is. Meanwhile, Shadow down in, well, P10, he's been in just about every single position in the grid at some point in this race, but 10th is where he finds himself now as we head towards what we're expecting to be the race restart here in just a few seconds time.
Yeah, and the thing I noticed is a bit weird is Lamaillas' teammate, Racer, is on a 6-stop strategy. He's gone from the wets to the wets once again, and the safety car isn't in this lap. You can take us through it now. But interesting strategy, 6 stops, not ideal. He hasn't got it quite figured out, and he's very far away from the pack, but it's not P18 we're interested in. We're looking for the race winner here, and it's yet to be decided, is what I'm gonna say. And Julian is gonna have to put in the most crucial 2 laps of Spa he's ever done in his life to get that P1.
Well, here we go then. Keep your eyes on those mirrors of Lamauno's, because we are going to get to see here whether Julian can get the restart that he needs. Lamauno needs a good one, and here he goes now. Before the final corner. That will be his attempt to try and catch people off guard, but he runs a little bit deep himself, and so Julian's right on the back of him. It's not been a good restart for the race leader, but he gets good traction at the final turn, and well, Julian able to match him as they head over the line to start the final 2 laps. Dive bomb from Lrc coming in the background there, up the inside of German Beat. Well, I said he was going to be a little bit reserved, but no reservement at all from Lrc. He's going to go wheel to wheel with German Beat now on the exit of La Source. German Beat seems to have got the better traction there from the switchback and will hold the position, but now heading up the Kemmel Straight, here comes Jacques. Indy Williams, can he get close enough? He's in the slipstream of Lamauno. He's closing in, the ERS deployed all the way. Is he going to go for the move? He's not close enough yet, but into the corner. Lamau goes deep. They're going to be side by side almost, but Lamauno holds on for the time being, but trying to get a good run through turn 7 is Julian. Is he going to be able to get a good enough one? No, he didn't get the exit, and so he's going to have to hold on and settle for second for now.
Oh, side by side, Maxcon and Afari. Afari's lost 2 places. He's gone for a very opportunistic move, and he's lost 2 places. He's side by side with the Mercedes in no name right there, the left-hander, and Fari's just kept that position, but only just as
round the outside of Puon. That's, oh god, a little bit of contact there. German Beat, what a move though, round the outside of Puon as DNF back in the field, and Lrc has made it work as well, follows him through, and Lrc now up into 6th place, German Beat up to 5th. Great drive by him, but he does of course have a penalty, and we'll have to wait and see what the actual penalties are once the race finishes, because unfortunately these standings that you see on the screen aren't always entirely accurate. Meanwhile, Afari right on the back of Maxcon now. He's going to pull out to the outside of Blanchimont. That's never going to work on the Inters, so he slots back in behind, and he's going to have to see if he can go for a dive bomb. He doesn't even need to, because he's already alongside here as they head into the final chicane. Here comes Afari round the outside, the wheel to wheel, close as you like, banging tyres now, and forced off the track is Maxcon. Big slide on the re-entry from Afari, and German Beat's got front row seats to all of this, banging tyres again in the straight now, into the first corner. Can the Aston Martin driver try and capitalise on this? He's going to try and sneak up the inside, closing the door is Afari. Meanwhile, in the background, Lrc fighting it out with the Mercedes of I Like Trains, who wants that place back that was taken from him last lap. Meanwhile, our race leader Lamauno has gotten over a second clear. It looks like without any mistakes he's going to hold on to the race win here, but it is wet conditions at Spa, so who knows what's going to happen as we have battles all the way down the straight.
Yeah, it was side by side between between Lrc and I Like Trains in Eau Rouge up to Radillon. Lrc almost made that move, but he's made that move stick now. Here comes the second Mercedes of Shadow trying to get a move on and overtake Lrc, but he can't just yet, as Afari has been overtaken by German Beat, who's making his way into the podium positions. Afari's crucially got a penalty, and now German Beat's, it is all to do for German Beat right now, as he's going to try to make up some position into the podium places, but it's looking just a bit out of reach, just as it's looking out, just like the race lead is looking out of reach for Julian, who hasn't made it count in the last lap or so. He's lost basically a lot of time to Lamar, yes, in the second and first sector, and I think that's Julian's dream of the race win over.
Here we go then, final few corners for Lamauno. He has 2 turns to keep it clean. Here, he's got Blanchimont and then the bus stop. Here we go, first one now. Blanchimont, he keeps it clean through there. Afari and Lrc, and well, everyone's fighting behind, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. But through the final couple of corners now, here comes Lamauno. Out of the final corner, Lamauno is going to avoid all of the chaos and hold on to take the win here in Belgium. But what is going on behind? Can German Beat get 3rd place? He's not going to be close enough as they cross the line, and 5th place will go to Lrc. No, 3rd place goes to Lrc because he didn't have a penalty. Shadow takes 4th, Maxcon drops to 5th, German Beat to 6th, Jarmin 7th, and complete chaos and pandemonium as they cross the line, and that is one hell of an ending, as it so often is here in LRC. But Lamauno, somehow, he has come through to take yet another win here. We said he wanted to get back to winning ways, and he has done exactly that. Well done to him.
Such a pity for Julian. He had it all to play for in this race. Obviously, that second stint on the Inters didn't do much good. He lost a lot of time, he lost a lot of track position, and that's left him in the P2 spot at the end of the race.
Yeah, seriously impressive stuff by him. And I'm not sure if it's his debut or his second race, but whichever one it is, he's absolutely stamped his mark on LRC here. So made his presence known and felt through the paddock here in these, well, whatever it is, first or second race for him. Great job by him, taking pole and so nearly taking the win as well. Had it not been for those safety cars, who knows, he might have been there on the top step of the podium. But it is going to be Lamauno once again taking his, I think, 7th win this season. So brilliant job by him as always. Somehow it always shakes out with him in P1 at the end of the race, it seems. But yeah, great job by him, and great job by Lrc as well. We said he'd finally had a race where he kept it clean, and it's paid off beautifully for him as he takes the 3rd spot on the podium.